Salams and welcome. Thank you for joining me. Solutions for the Problems of South Africa. I'm at solution number 14. This one is called the Parliament Principle. Okay, the Parliament Principle in briefly states every honourable member of Parliament must study and memorize the entire Constitution. We must remember that the TV and social media, the whole world is watching how we're talking in Parliament. So remember, the Parliament is not a closed session anymore. The entire world is watching how we are conducting ourselves in Parliament, and then they will decide whether they want to invest in South Africa or not. We are not an island. We cannot pretend that we don't need the world. Obviously, we need the world. We need our own South Africans to invest in here, and we need the entire world to invest in here. And the world is watching how are we conducting ourselves in Parliament. If we are conducting our Parliament like a circus, then the world is not going to invest here. We must be professional. We must be honorable. We must be dignified business people to be able to attract the overseas investors into this country. So we must remember that with TV and social media, the whole world is watching how you talk, how you walk, how you dress, how you communicate, how you think. The business people grow the economy. The business corporations in this country and overseas investors will decide if they want to invest in this country based on the behavior, conduct, and good manners of etiquette and protocol observed by members. I apologize. Sometimes, astaghfirullah, sometimes the pain gets a bit much, and well, I don't like to complain and I don't look for pity. I live in pain all the time, but that's part of life. Pain is like breathing for me. Sometimes it gets verschrikkelijk. Sometimes it's baie verschrikkelijk. Bone pain, spine pain is not an easy pain to cope with, but we take it one day at a time. It is important to note that when the Honourable Speaker calls for silence or calls for order, then that Honourable Member must respect the Honourable Speaker. The Honourable Speaker is like the chairman of a boardroom. If the chairman brings you to order and tells you to keep quiet, then you should do it immediately out of respect for the chairman of the Speaker. It is very shameful to disrespect the chair. So please, our parliamentarian people, the world is watching how you are acting and behaving. Let's act with honor and with dignity and with good manners in Parliament. It is a sacred chamber. God is watching. At the hospital where I worked, I used to remind my doctor colleagues and nurses that an operating theatre should be respected. It is holy ground. It is sacred ground because people's lives are at stake. Similarly, the Parliament is holy ground. It is sacred ground where decisions are being made which affect the lives of 60 million people in this beautiful land, hierdie wonderlike land van Suid-Afrika. People are dying of poverty, homelessness, crime, rape, murder, HIV-AIDS, and so on. We should be ashamed to even talk in Parliament while the people are suffering like this. Please, people are suffering. It's not nice for people to suffer. Suffering is not nice, especially when you got a solution. So shame to those people who are stealing from government. Shame to those people who are causing corruption. Shame to those people who are entrepreneurs. Shame to those people who are causing nepotism, friends for pals. Shame on all of you. Let's get the right people for the right job. Whether it's black, white, Indian, colored, Malay, whoever it is, get the right person to run this country. Don't destroy this wonderful, beautiful land. God is watching. Please. So I would like to give a suggestion to every honourable member of Parliament. Do you know, or can you remember, do you know that your salary, the salary you're getting every month is not coming from the ANC. Your salary is not coming from the DA. Your salary is not coming from the EFF. Your salary is not coming from the MK. Your salary is not coming from the government. Your salary is coming from the people of South Africa, from the taxes, from SARS. That's how you're getting paid your salary. Just a reminder. Sometimes people forget. So do you know that your salary is coming from SARS, taxes being paid by the hard-working people in this country, 18 to 45% tax. So please do not be arrogant with the people. The people are paying your salary. You can't be arrogant with them. Please, you are a servant of the people. You are accountable to the people. What are you doing with the salary? Are you helping the poor people of this country, or are you having parties with your overseas holidays and Gucci bags? Or are you too busy just making a noise in Parliament? Famous idiom, empty barrels make the most noise. That's a famous English idiom. I would like to suggest that every honourable member of Parliament, and please listen very carefully, every honourable member of Parliament, the fact that you stood for election, now there are 400 seats in Parliament. I would like to suggest that every member of the 400 seats in Parliament must stay 1 month in a squatter camp. 1 month. 1 month there are poor whites, so we stay 1 month with the poor whites, 1 month with the poor Indians, 1 month with the poor coloreds, 1 month with the poor Malays, and 1 month with the poor blacks. So stay 1 month each in the poorest of the whites, blacks, coloreds, Indians, and Malays, and only then will you understand the meaning of suffering. If you as a parliamentarian, if you have not stayed in a squatter camp for 1 month, then you don't know this. I'm sorry, you don't know the problems of this country. You don't know what is homelessness. You don't know what it is to struggle for food and water. Please. So I'm encouraging all 400. You all have stood for elections. We, the people, have voted for you. Now I'm saying every member of parliament must stay in a squatter camp. Stay with the poor whites, the poor blacks, the poor Indians, the poor colors, the poor Malays, everyone. That is why Islam, as a Muslim, I'm telling you, Islam teaches us Islam teaches us to fast in Ramadan every year for a full month. When you don't eat and drink water for a full month and you get hungry and thirsty, only then can you fully understand in what way the poor people are suffering. I apologize, I'm just having a bit of a very difficult day today. And I'm just going to be very slow. I'll just finish this in about a minute or so. So there's a challenge for all politicians. The next 6 months, stay 1 month in the squatter camps. The media and journalists will follow your journey. We're going to take videos of you, how you're coping in those poor areas. You must make notes, make a journal entry or make notes how it is to live in a squatter camp over the poor whites, the poor Indians, the poor colors. Don't come visit us only election time. I get very frustrated. The only time I see politicians is election time. Don't make fools of us, please. If you are really sincere, then please stay with the poor people. Stay with the poor blacks. Stay in squatter camps. Stay with the poor whites. There are poor whites in this country. There are poor Indians. There are poor coloreds. There are poor Malays. I want every member of parliament, the one we voted for, 400 members. You got seats. I want every one of the 400 members. Stay. I want to see. Show me your guts. Do you have guts to stay 1 month in a squatter camp? Please. And 1 month with the poor people of this country. Finally, if you want the NHI to work, then for the next 6 months, all politicians and honorable members of parliaments must stop going to private hospitals. They are only allowed to go to provincial hospitals for them and for their families. NHI will remove the choice of citizens to pay for a 5-star private hospital and downgrade to a 2-star provincial hospital, and I'm not happy to accept that. I would encourage all journalists who are interested in the NHI to take Government Gazette document number R158 and put hospitals to the test based on that document. A hospital is only allowed to function if it passes the test in Government Gazette R158. I can tell you now, 90% of private hospitals will pass R158 exam. But 90% of government provincial hospitals will fail the R158 exam. So please, let us not have a knee-jerk reaction to NHI. If you simply transplant a foreign idea from Europe, you will get organ rejection. NHI will be rejected. Yes, universal healthcare is yes, we want universal healthcare for everyone. It's very important. I agree with that 100%. It's a fabulous philosophical idea and it's a fabulous idea of equality. But let's implement it with wisdom. Let's use the wisdom of Solomon. Let's not make it that someone is going to get a cut out of it. I'm tired of people getting cuts out of things. Please. So why don't you study the model in Dubai? Instead of just importing the NHI from Europe, did you study the model in Dubai? Dubai also got universal healthcare. The Islamic countries got universal healthcare. Saudi Arabia got universal healthcare. The UAE got universal healthcare. Why don't we import the universal healthcare in Dubai over here? Islam teaches look after everybody. Don't import things where someone is getting a kickback on the way. I know there's always a 10% commission for someone or a 5% commission. I'm tired of people lining their own pockets. The people are suffering. We are tired of suffering. I need medical care. I need a 5-star hospital. I'm not prepared to go to a provincial hospital. So I'm telling all the government officials, for the next 6 months, all government officials must only go to provincial hospitals, please. Then you will realize what you are implementing in this country. The proof of the pudding is in the eating. Let's work together to make South Africa a better place. Leadership starts from the top. Stay well.